Happy time, my Tammy's Top Cat here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are obviously inside of the Crucible playing some Trials of Osiris. We were using the new exotic gauntlets, the Caliban's Hand. It has an exotic armor perk called Roastum. Your proximity knife scorches targets, it damages with explosions, or ignites targets on a direct hit. It also has a secondary perk. After throwing a proximity knife, you gain increased melee regeneration until the knife explodes. If you're running 100 strength like I am, you should get this knife pretty much refunded by the time that the knife explodes. You will be about 90% of the melee will be back in your pocket, ready to use again. But obviously the point of these is that we want to get those explosions, we want those team wipes. We just want to be wiping people out with these tiny little knives and just watch everyone else burn around them. You do need to make them a little bit weak in order to get the knife kill and then the explosions that follow suit, as this is not a one-shot kill knife, but the explosions that come thereafter are most definitely one-shot. To do this, the main perk here is the class item Solar Fulmination. Your ignitions do increased damage in an increased radius. Of course, the Caliban's hands dictate that we use the proximity explosive knife. Throw a knife that attaches to surfaces. Upon impact, it detonates. We were using the Ember of Char Solar Fragment, Ember of Ashes, Ember of Eruption, our solar ignitions that have increased area of effect. Ember of Singeing, Scorch is going to give us class ability. We want class ability. And Ember of Torches, our powered melee attacks, are going to give us Radiant. We will be pairing this up with a Dead Messenger. You can use any weapon, but I've been using this one as it's great at just knocking people's health down really quickly, so you can finish them up with the knife. This is a Waveframe GL, but it's somewhat unique in the fact that it shoots not just one wave, like straight up in front of you, like it used to, like the others do. This one shoots one up the middle, one left and one right, kinda in a similar pattern to like that of like a duck's foot, if you can imagine. So it's really good to lead into a battle, cover the ground in danger, and it just sends people scurrying a little bit because it does knock back quite a significant amount of health straight off the bat, making them nice and weak, and that's what we want. It does have a lot more velocity than say something like the Witherhoard that has like similar traits too. So I would highly recommend using this one, as you can be a little bit more aggressive than say the Witherhoard. And I'd say the Witherhoard's more about territory control because the puddle stays there for a while. This one is only there for a second and a half, maybe two at the max. But this is primarily about just knocking that health down so we can finish it up with the knife. The knife is the play here. Get one person weak, chuck a knife at their head, they blow up, their teammate blows up, that teammate blows up. You got a team wipe just like that. We'll be using knocking down to get our knives refunded back to us, but it also helps with our Blade Barrage Super as well. This Super is the one I would recommend running inside of something like Trials. It's got a nice cooldown, and you can still aim it. It's going to do a little wiggle, and you can knock out a team pretty easily. It's also a good bubble buster, and considering that bubble is one of the most terrifying things to face off against in Trials, it's a pretty good super to have. And our best bit of cancel culture against the Well and the Bubble Titan. We will also be using On Your Mark. I'm dodging an awful lot, but this just helps my handling and reload. Particularly, this is really good with a breach load grenade launcher, as you are going neck deep into danger. That's why I'm also using a healing grenade. I've only got 40 discipline available to me, so I want a low cooldown grenade. Otherwise, if I had more discipline, I'd probably be using a trip mine. You're going to want to have a decent level of mobility and strength for this build. Recovery, not really needed. Ideally, if I could get a new set of armor, I'll be putting that into resilience for this season, of course. As 30 resilience doesn't really bode too well for my aerial gunplay. But for my other gun, I am using the Submission. I am using Enhanced Encore and Enhanced Killing Wind. I love this thing. This is my baby. And if you have yet to craft one, I highly recommend you get your ass into the raid, do Val, get those red borders and craft this, because she is S-tier as fuck. And believe me, I know what you're thinking. Encore, why on earth would you be using that? Didn't we all think that was garbage? Yes and no. But on some weapons, it is hot garbage, but A lot of the things Encore came on were just garbage guns in general. I mean, the Vulpecula, why would you want Encore on that, right? But this thing here, it just turns it up to the 9. Who does not want mad stability on an SMG? Who doesn't want mad range on an SMG? This does both things. You can lead with that mag range stat, you start getting hit, you start taking damage, it gives you more stability, it just focuses it like a laser. It's so good. Like, the first kill is one thing, then you tie that together with Killing Wind, it's almost like it goes, Killing Wind, Encore, sweet, I'm just going to lock onto the head, you just hold the trigger, I'll do the work for you. It's so good. The amount of battles and clutch plays I pulled off with this thing, and I had no right to win some of these battles. This gun is just amazing, and I highly recommend you put down your multi-mac, you pull this out, give it a go for yourself. Honestly, you will not regret it. The Killing Wind is aptly named. It's like chucking death farts in their faces. You just get to sit back and laugh. We of course using Gambler's Dodge. This is really good to get our knife back. I'm double stacking submachine gun targeting just to lock those heads in. Submachine gun loader, and I would recommend running Focusing Strike. It's going to grant us class ability when we do damage with our melee attack. We're obviously chucking a lot of melees. That's always going to give us our dodge available to us. I'm using Radiant Light primarily just to boost up that strength bar. Unflinching submachine gun, double stack again. Stability is king. There's nothing really here to use. Submachine gun holster, it's barely used, but you're not really going to be getting many orbs these days, so holster it is. Powerful friends, again, I want that mobility up. I am a hunter after all. Utility kickstart. How can we not be using Classy Restoration? Feels a little bit cheap, but we are. And Solar Fulmination. That's of course going to get us those big butter booms with our little throwing knives. And after all, that's what this build is about. Big butter booms, sitting back, laughing at all these knife kills that just come your way. I highly recommend you give this build a go, guys. The Solar Fulmination mod is only here for this season, of course. After that, this won't pack the same punch. It'll still be good, don't get me wrong, but the chain kills just won't come as easily. So get on this now. Anyway, my damies, that is the build for today. If you liked it, please give it a like. If you really liked it and you're new, please chuck us a sub. It goes a long way towards growing the channel. Comment down below if you've got any questions or you just want to chat. And as always, tippy time, my damies. What a tie.